Next on Worcester News tonight, the city is stepping up efforts to defend against cybersecurity attacks. A look at how a new training will help employees be more aware. Plus, survivors sharing their stories and making others stronger. Someone in Worcester reminds people help is available in the effort to end sexual and domestic violence. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. Today is the summer solstice, but it certainly didn't feel like the first day of summer. It was a dreary day with rain, humidity, and cooler temperatures, but we can look forward to a beautiful weekend. Let's send it over to meteorologist Michael Page for a first look at our local forecast.
First day of summer starting with some more showers and downpours here in central Massachusetts today, although we missed a lot of it. Really just a couple of drops in the rain bucket in most cases through the Worcester Hills. Look at Boston though, over an inch of rain today, close to an inch down the Cape. All of this now sliding away, and we've had some sunshine peeking out here in central Massachusetts as the clearing works in on a gusty northwesterly wind that's also bringing in lower humidity. So finally feeling less soupy tonight and right through the weekend. Very comfortable dew point value of 57 here in Worcester. Once you go below 60, it feels refreshing. So let's look at the weekend now. Summarized, it's breezy tomorrow. We'll have sunshine during the morning. Clouds will bubble up during the afternoon with the heating of the day as highs top out in the 70s. A sprinkle or a spot shower during the afternoon. Brief interruption to your plans. That's it. It's still breezy, it's warmer, and there's more sunshine on Sunday. That's the weekend pick as temperatures top out in the low 80s. We'll take a complete look at the hour-by-hour timing of this, plus your 10-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Michael. A federal court judge has ruled to temporarily ban federal immigration agents from arresting people at Massachusetts courthouses. This comes after a lawsuit was filed against ICE in the spring. The people who filed it say defendants were too afraid to go to court. Our Roslyn Flaherty joins us live now with more on how this could affect people in Massachusetts. Roslyn.
Olivia, this will only apply when a defendant's case is ongoing. People in support of this say it's a big win. Centro's president and CEO says he knows people who feared going to courthouses because there was a possibility immigration and customs enforcement officers could take them into custody.
Many of the people who are here now in the United States, undocumented, came here as children. And so in many cases, they were not even aware that they were here undocumented.
A federal judge has blocked immigration authorities from arresting undocumented immigrants in Massachusetts courthouses. The move is a response to a lawsuit public defenders and prosecutors filed against ICE. They say defendants and witnesses are too afraid to show up for their court dates.
So far, on a preliminary injunction, ICE is not allowed to come unless somebody has been arrested, sentenced, and is now being released from a sentence, then ICE can still come.
Immigration attorney Randy Feldman says the preliminary injunction is a big win for immigrants' rights and the judicial system. He says the lawsuit is a fight over who will take charge.
Is it going to be the judicial system of Massachusetts' concerns about getting ultimate justice, or is it going to be the ICE, federal government's Immigration and Customs Enforcement's concerns about getting everyone who shouldn't be in the country out of the country? That was the debate. That's the fight. And right now, the criminal justice system of Massachusetts is winning.
An ICE spokesperson says the agency is reviewing the court's decision and has no further comment. President Donald Trump has slammed the two prosecutors who brought the case, saying they are people who probably don't mind crime. Meanwhile, Centro's CEO agrees this is a big win for immigrants and applauds the courage of the people who filed the lawsuit.
People have the right to due process in this country, whether they are citizens or not.
Now, the ruling does not apply to undocumented suspects already in state or federal custody. Roslyn Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester police are looking for a suspect they say assaulted a store clerk. Police posted surveillance pictures of the male suspect. They say he entered the Honey Farms on Millbury Street around 11:30 Tuesday night and repeatedly assaulted the clerk. The suspect forced the clerk to open the register and took an undisclosed amount of money. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. In an effort to make people more aware of cyber attacks, Worcester has begun training all employees on what to look for and what to avoid. The city says attacks on municipalities have become more prevalent, and they want to make sure they are one step ahead. Our Chandler Walsh has the details.
All it takes is one click on a bad link, and an entire city's information could be taken by hackers.
It's like an epidemic out there, and it's happening on a daily basis to cities and towns.
The city of Worcester is increasing cybersecurity efforts, training all 1,600 employees.
The weakest link is the employee. So they're the ones that are going to receive those fake emails. They're the ones that are going to be tricked into clicking on a link or providing the information because they think it's from a known source.
Suzanne Zargis is Worcester's cybersecurity training specialist. She'll finish the first round of training by the end of the month.
So they can see firsthand a number of red flags that they should be looking for in every email that comes through.
Zargis says hackers could steal data from one or more department, anything from archives to email to electronic records, and hold it for ransom.
Think of everything we use on a daily basis that is connected to the internet or involves technology and not having access to that.
Attacks cost victims millions of dollars, resources, and time. Chief Information Officer Eileen Kazaropol says the city has had to shut down the internet to fight against viruses and says several fake emails go to city employees each month.
We'll send it out from the help desk to all the users, letting them know that this is the latest, fake email that's circulating the city.
Cyber criminals also target hospitals, schools, and corporations. Kazaropol says the criminals are resourceful, so they want to stay one step ahead.
They're doing their homework. They're looking at what departments have sensitive, confidential financial information, and they're targeting those departments.
Kazaropol says the FBI frowns on paying ransom, but some municipalities or groups have no other choice. Zargis says cybercrime is now more profitable than the global trade of all illegal drugs combined. Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester School Committee approves the district's final budget for fiscal year 2020. The more than $420 million budget is an almost 5% increase from the previous year. Some of the highlights include the addition of 23 more teachers at the middle and high school levels to address enrollment increases and course offering needs. The budget also allows for the hiring of a chief diversity officer. The new position will help support the district's strategic plan goal of investing in educators by increasing the number of highly qualified teacher candidates and recruiting educators knowledgeable in instruction urban environments. An insurance company with a significant presence in downtown Worcester is being recognized for their impact on local communities. A new study by Point of Light ranks UNUM as one of the 50 most community-minded U.S. corporations. The Civic 50 ranking says UNUM's Worcester employees gave almost $800,000 to Central Massachusetts nonprofits in 2018 and volunteered close to 3,000 hours. Throughout all of its locations, UNUM has invested more than $13 million to charitable causes and volunteered more than 67,000 hours. A summit at the DCU Center gives educators, organizers, and student workers a chance to learn more about sexual and domestic violence prevention. Jane Doe hosted the event, offering workshops, guest speakers, and activities. Some shared their stories about survival and their message for others. Our Gretchen LaRosa has the story.
Deanna Moncera suffered years of sexual abuse at the hands of someone close to her. At 17, she left Mexico City for the U.S. She's hoping a public summit at the DCU Center helps build trust for victims seeking help.
My family, my mom, my brothers were also survivors. One of the things that I always questioned, why did my mama stay for so long? As many people, that's the question they usually they ask.
Moncera is the program director for Jane Doe, a statewide advocacy group focusing on issues of sexual assault and domestic violence. She says people stay in abusive situations for many reasons, often because their abuser supports them financially.
Many times it takes more than 7 times for a person to leave the abuser. So listen to them, be supportive to them, and this is what we're here for today.
Executive Director Deborah Robbins says their goal is to build a foundation of support for victims rather than shame or blame them.
So often when we talk about really hard issues like sexual assault and domestic violence, so many people think there's nothing we can do, that this is the way it is, this is the way it's always been, and that's not accurate because we can change human behavior.
Representatives from high schools, colleges, and shelters attended today's event, all with the common goal: to bring an end to sexual violence.
Sometimes we're uncomfortable and we don't know why, but that's like a hint that something's not right. You have to learn something, you have to change something.
We believe that change is going to happen if folks on the top are thinking about it and are trying to make a change.
Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito was at the summit earlier today. She said the state is looking to invest more money into ways to prevent abuse. In the meantime, Jane Doe is hoping to host more summits like the one today. Gretchen LaRosa, Worcester News Tonight.
A local researcher is looking into how medical marijuana may benefit disabled veterans. Cannabis Community Care is conducting surveys in hopes of finding alternative sources of healing. They hope their research can also make a significant impact on the opioid crisis. Cam Jandro has more.
Worcester-based research network C3RN is studying medical marijuana use among veterans. So far, they've had more than 100 vets take their survey.
67% of those report using medical cannabis to reduce the use of unwanted prescription medications or over-the-counter medications.
Dr. Marion McNabb shared C3RN's studies with clinicians and veterans organizations. She says the goal of the research is to identify the potential medical benefits of cannabis.
There are alternatives, but it's not for everybody, and we understand that. There's a need to really work with each individual.
Iraq War veteran Stephen Mandilli is president of Alternative Treatment for Veterans. He was also the first to buy recreational marijuana from Lester's Cultivate last November.
The fact that we have a substance here that is non-toxic but less available than an opioid is really a problem.
Disabled American Veterans represents about 28,000 disabled vets here in the state. They're hoping C3RN's study can find a better way to treat pain.
The side effects from the opioid, it really affects their lifestyle, their family interaction, the fact that they get very depressed, they're kind of lethargic, they don't sleep very well.
We're trying to take an innovative approach to data and data use. And really look at these issues that are really a public health emergency.
Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
An update on a story we brought to you earlier this week. Oxford police confirm a 16-year-old has been charged in connection to recent car breaks in town. Police say the teen is charged in connection with 3 of the incidents. Home surveillance video from one of the victims shows a person going through her car and at the same time someone trying to get into her family's other car. Police say there were 8 to 10 reports of suspects going through cars left unlocked in the area of Minuteman Lane. The investigation is still active.